Hey everybody, this is your boy, Ernest Stewart. So we got to talk about this. There seems to have been another shooting. And I'm starting to notice a trend. Outside of all the typical arguments you hear on TV going back and forth about this topic, not much of that has changed. But what I wanted to draw your attention to is this incessant need to go after the NRA in situations where the government fails. And what I mean by that is that the trend that I have found is that in some of the largest mass killings, bombings, shootings, that a lot of these people were either interviewed by or were currently being watched by the FBI. And yet, you don't see on a national scale either the mainstream media or people in general in the comment section of, let's say, Facebook or Twitter, placing any of the blame of these failures at the feet of the government. And that really got me thinking. So I'm over here, kind of scrolling through the list of last few major events and shootings and bombings, and I see things like the Tsarnaev Boston bomber brother that was interviewed a handful of times, was looking up, ISIS videos. He was being radicalized, or the Orlando nightclub shooter, or even in this case, or Dylan Roof. The vast majority of these people, one, shouldn't have been able to legally purchase a firearm. Two, were already on the radar, either already interviewed or currently being watched. Some interviewed multiple times, mind you. And yet, the only thing that I hear are arguments against gun owners, Republicans, and the NRA. So, there was a factoid I remember, a statistic I read a little while ago. I think the most recent numbers was 2010. Yeah, the 2010 number. It said out of the 44,000 people that lied on their background check to receive a gun. So, in other words, we know that these people lied. We know that the information turned out false. It hit the NICS system and it failed. And we know they lied. Only 44 of them were ever prosecuted. I want you to think about that number again. Out of the 44,000 people in that 1 year that lied, which, by the way, is against the law. That is a federal crime. You cannot lie on that sheet, supposedly without facing repercussions. But clearly, they don't actually fall through with that. So don't you think that that is a problem? Why is it more people don't know that? If this is supposed to be an issue where you don't want guns falling into the hands of the wrong people, then wouldn't you want your federal government to be doing its damn job? So I say to you that those of us that own know that people are going to fall through the cracks. We know that the government is not going to do their job correctly because we already know, again, that 44,000 to 44 people number. So, as a precaution, I have a backup for when the government fails. It's called an FNS9. It's called a 223. It's called a 12 gauge. So when the government does fail, which it does, which it will, and which it will again, while everyone's trumpeting the fight against the NRA and evil Republicans, just remember that same government that you put your faith in is the same government that could not catch a guy with a YouTube channel using his real name. Political blackout.